Hello everyone, this is Ron again with the 6th episode of my full playthrough of Silent Hill. I am in the Otherworld version of the hospital. Got to this last time, did some exploration of the regular version, if you recall, and checked out a couple rooms in here, and I continue with going through and exploring this. This episode will be mostly just me going around and exploring the rooms and fighting enemies in here. I believe at this point, or if not, coming up shortly, we're going to see the main enemies in here, which are these nurses and doctors. We'll be seeing that shortly, but first, I pick up this plate, which is part of a puzzle that I'll deal with later on. But these doctors and nurses in this game, oh yeah, that noise, when I was playing, that noise freaked me out. Just came out of nowhere, so I checked again to make sure that wasn't anything going on. Nothing going on out here. Couldn't hear my way, but those doctors and nurses, which if you've played some other games, seems to be a bit of a running theme when it comes to enemies. However, they kind of wound up changing how they work. In most later games, they're either monsters or, like in Silent Hill 2, like mannequins. In this game, these doctors and nurses are people who are infected with this like creature or like disease, and you can see on the back of that one that I'm shooting, there's this big lump, and that's the thing that's infecting them and making them attack. Now, what's also odd is basically at this point, Harry Mason is just wandering around, basically shooting people. It kind of casts things in a bit of a weird light, but this is a survival horror game, so I guess it's okay as long as he's doing it in self-defense. But here I am, just exploring, and this part of the game just really kind of showcases what this game can do. We're gonna see a lot of kind of freaky things going on. Well, not necessarily too freaky, but just really good like mood and atmosphere setting. Right now, I'm just checking to make sure that I fully explore this room here, and then I continue on my way of exploring this floor of the hospital. See, at this point, I know there's an enemy, but I just had to make sure I continue exploring. Pick up this blood pack. I'm a little bit confused by it at first. I'll make sure I go over here and get some ammo. So, not going in there, so I head back out, continue exploring the messed up version of the hospital. More map checking, really good at checking the map. But take out that infected nurse. Make sure that I reload. And most of this episode is just going to be Harry Mason wandering around. I may not talk quite as much because there's not too much plot that kind of happens. It's mostly exploring, finding some puzzle pieces, and dealing with enemies. Yeah, I remember I was just checking here because after grabbing that. Wait, no, I was trying to make sure I searched around the room for everything. I was having some difficulties doing that. Now, in this version of the hospital, the elevator works just like a regular elevator. There is no shenanigans going on with the buttons or anything. No, that's not exploring the second floor for right now. So now I'm on the first floor. And we got an enemy right there. Yeah, so you're probably noticing. Yeah, see this is an actual doctor. These enemies, there's actually more of them, and they tend to be tougher than most of the enemies I've run into up to this point. Because as I mentioned, the game's kind of starting to ramp up a little bit, and it's getting later into the game. So all that ammo I collected is finally being put to use as I take out these enemies and continue on the exploration. I go over to this vending machine, and there's no indication, but there's just like random health drinks in here. And in fact, there's actually more than one in them, in one of them. Now that I didn't even remember that. I just thought because it was the vending machine to just go up and press X and see what happened. That's one of the few times that something like that actually happens. Most items in this game stick out pretty well. And here are the stairs down to the basement. I do believe I head down there. I take this route rather than using the elevator. Yeah, I thought there was more than one. Yeah, there was more than one enemy, and I was trying to not get hurt too much because these ones are a little bit tougher. Eventually, just kind of wind up clearing out of the way, and then just blasting them down. That kind of happens a lot, and makes all those health items like those ammo actually come in handy at this point. See here, another couple of them. Here, I managed to back into here, deal with that one, and then this other one tries to go around, and I can't, so I just take it out. Thank you very much for poor game AI. Made that victory much easier. And then there's another health drink. I haven't whipped out the shotgun yet. It would take the enemy down faster, but because this is a survival horror game, I generally go with the mantra of if a weapon is more powerful, you generally don't want to use it. You want to save it for like a boss or something. It always tends to work pretty well for getting you through um, these survival horror games. No, that door's locked. Can't get through it. And here's the generator room. It's the same kind of camera thing as in the original one, but however you look there, there's a new weapon. It's a hammer. It's a big, huge hammer. It's a new melee weapon. And it's kind of weird because when Harry holds it to attack, he actually does it with the spike first rather than the flat end. Seems kind of odd, but it's a very effective melee weapon. I make some good use of it in this episode. Yeah, I finish up in the basement for now and decide to head back up to the first floor. I head back up using the elevator just to see if anything different will happen, but I don't believe anything does. Oh, wait, no. I think about doing it and I decide not to. Don't remember why. But regardless, I head back up the stairs. See, I think it's kind of funny. Like, can't really see down the hall, but then again, there isn't any actual light in the hallway. The only light is from Harry's flashlight. We got a save point and another puzzle piece. Yeah, and that noise really freaked me out because it just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it doesn't happen immediately following picking up the puzzle piece. It takes it a couple seconds. But regardless, I decided to make sure that I save. Oh, we got some enemies here. No, we have an enemy. See, as you can see, these enemies are tougher, and they tend to show up like right next to your character. And I also got hurt there, so I make sure that I heal myself up a little bit. We still have even more another enemy to take out in here. But he is dealt with. Now in here, there's an enemy, and just because of how close they are, I decide to break out my new melee weapon and use it on him. And this thing just rips right through him. I think I decided to kind of start making more use of this. Mostly because it is more powerful and it conserves ammo. Now, Ammo isn't too big of a concern at this point, but never hurts to be able to conserve it. You never know when you may need it in the future, especially in a survival horror game. I think it's funny that Harry just basically wanders around with this giant hammer, um, in, indiscriminately bashing things to pieces. And it says it's an emergency hammer. Now, I've heard of like axes that you would use in an emergency, like a fire axe, and I've even heard of like jaws of life, but I've never heard of an emergency hammer. Mostly because if it's an emergency requiring you smashing something, I would think a fire axe would serve that purpose pretty well. Now, see, we got that noise happening again, and I'm thinking there's another enemy out here. But there's nothing. It's just a noise. Now, another example of how this game just kind of messes with you. It'll establish like a precedent where something like a noise whatever will signify an enemy, and then that noise will happen and there won't be an enemy. Yeah, so you see another example here of where the hammer is just very powerful, and then Harry just kind of nonchalantly steps on his crotch and he dies. Now this part, I'm just kind of doing this to make sure I explore as much as I possibly can. Yeah, see, there was actually a little noise made. It was like three little like bip noises. Really difficult to notice, but it doesn't do them again. But that door's locked. Gonna have to come back to it later. So even though there's an enemy there, don't worry about it too much. He rides around and dies. Time to head up to the second floor, and I have to go up by the stairs, at least initially, because the door from the elevator room is currently locked. Just smash someone's face in with a hammer again. And what's also kind of funny / interesting is the person's clearly wearing some sort of dress skirt, but this is PlayStation 1, it's just a polygon and no sort of upskirt scenario there, so no sort of censoring needed, I guess. And then this is the Grim Reaper's list, and we have these names and what I presume are ages. Don't know if that's for anything. I don't think it ever gets used, at least not in the course of this episode. Yeah, I couldn't go past that dying nurse until she stopped the riot flailing about. And there's a lighter. Now, if you recall, back at the beginning of the game, I had a lighter. Don't know what happened to it, but I get the lighter. I just kind of fiddle around trying to use stuff. And obviously, it's not going to let me because these are very specific items with specific uses. Get myself ready and smash. And then here, and now there's that weird noise and my radio thing's going off, so I'm thinking there's some kind of enemy in here. So instead there's these tentacles with a pool of blood in front of them. But that pool of blood is kind of like your clue as to how to get past tentacles. See, with the blood pack, you take that, you throw it, and the tentacles get attracted to that, and they start doing whatever they're doing with that. Once that you run in and grab this piece of the puzzle that you need, that you will need to progress. Now, I don't think there's any way you can actually kill those tentacles. They're just kind of there. And then here we got this poem. This poem is a clue to a puzzle on a nearby door. It's a little bit difficult to understand. Well, not a little bit. I don't actually quite grasp it, kind of at all. Check it a couple times. And this puzzle, I do actually give it a shot. Give it at least one good faith try before I resort to using a FAQ. And basically, I have these 4 tiles, and I have to make sure that I place them in the right locations just so the door will open. However, before I do that, I just need to make sure that I do full exploration. I'm expecting it to be locked, but just wanted to make sure I checked. So I have to do this puzzle in order to progress. Check that again. Like I said, I don't know what that's for exactly, but I have these 4 pieces. And this clue, this lucky fire that's in the garden dandelions are unavoidable, liquid, like this is your clue to placing these 4 tiles, and as you can see, there's actually 4 of them already there. And those are represented in the clue, the poem that you read. Now, I give this at least I give this a good attempt here to try and figure it out. I do try and follow what the game is trying to tell me, but like a lot of the clues in these early Silent Hills, very abstract and very strange. And also another little quirk is all these plates have pictures of Alice in Wonderland characters on them. It's actually not relevant to the puzzle. It's just a little kind of like Easter eggy thing about them. See, like right now I'm trying to follow the logic of the clue. This has like cloud rolling over hills, sun in the sky, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe they put the blue one on top and the yellow one up there to represent, the sky and the sun, and the green one needs to be down at the bottom because that's the ground, and then the red one, I'm thinking, okay, well, there's one place left. And it, of course, does not work. It is incorrect. In fact, I think I got it almost reversed compared to what the correct configuration is. Then I have to remove all of these, and I decide at this point to look up a fact, just get the solution real quick, so I don't feel like sitting here for 10, 15, possibly even 20 minutes trying to figure this out. Because once again, we have a rather abstract clue, and it's not very clear how you're supposed to go from puzzle clue to puzzle solution. And while I understand like a good brain teaser, like it seems so abstract and out there. It's very difficult to actually connect the things and come up with the solution. So that's why I end up just using the fact to make everything much, much quicker. See, right now, nothing's happening because this is while I'm looking up the fact real quick. But at this point, I got the fact, so I decide I'm going to take all these pieces out and put them back in the correct order. Yeah, that was one thing about these early Silent Hills that always. Like, I liked the concept, like this is it's a real puzzle, with some decent thought and logic behind it, but these clues are just so abstract, like I'm not even sure I could see someone who's like good with puzzles or good with brain teasers being like, oh yeah, I could totally see how you go from this to this or from this to that. Like I don't know. It just doesn't seem to register too much with me. But I don't know if anyone watching this is someone who likes these kind of puzzles or something like that. It may be something to look at. I don't know. Just give me some sort of feedback. Let me know whether I'm just really bad or really these clues just aren't very good. But I finished that clue, we deal with some enemies, and I continue on my way. The idea was these enemies I just had to shoot because it's a couple of them and they're a little bit far away. I'm not sure how dealing with both of them at the same time would work out. But I finished these enemies. Continue with my exploration. See, another great thing about this melee weapon is when I use it, it knocks enemies back, so it actually helps me to not get hurt while fighting them because as they go to swing, I hit them knocks him back. Then it moves across the way there. I just decided to just shoot him down. Then in here, got some more enemies to deal with, and I decided to make sure that I get this to him. And then here, I get me a key. This is basement storeroom. Now I have to go back to the storeroom in order to continue on my way with this. So we got some more enemies in here. In here, there's a couple items that I will need, and I kind of miss one of them. There's that bottle there up front that kind of sticks out. That's the item I really need in here, and kind of miss it at first. And then this part here, like this thing, like those boxes. He like looks at them, and it's like, oh, nothing unusual. Now that's a box that appears to be like covered in blood, and he's just like in this other world. Like everything about this is just completely unusual. It's just completely unusual. Like I don't even know how he's like, oh, no, nothing unusual. But I get that, and I continue exploring. I get a head over to the elevator. I head back down to the basement to head to the storeroom. So I head back here, make sure I get the items in this room. Nothing inside. Now, see, at this point I'm actually kind of, because there's that whole, like, there's like that texture kind of popping out a little bit right next to that cabinet. So I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna move this or something. First, I make sure I get everything in this room, which includes these handgun bullets, which takes a little bit because for some reason he can't just reach over from the other side of the shelf and get them. He has to be on the same side of the shelf as the handgun bullets. But get them and continue on my way. Oh, push the cabinet and we have this door. Head in here, and then there's this place. Which I check a little bit here, and it still shows me as being in the storeroom, but it's clearly a different room. It looks like can't move since the vines have grown around it. Those vines are apparently blocking access, so I think, okay, well, I'll just use the lighter. The fire goes out right away when I light the flame. So these vines are too thick or whatnot, they won't burn. But I have disinfecting alcohol. So I pour that on it, and as we all know, that is flammable. So I pour that on it, and then I use the lighter. And it lights, and Harry steps back, surprised that it actually worked, which is odd, considering the fact that that is flammable is probably pretty common knowledge. But so I head down, and then there's this hallway. In the game, this is kind of neat, kind of pan down, kind of pan away while I was running on it. And there's this area, and I don't have a map for it. But here we got some enemies. There are still some enemies about, but I decide to make sure I continue exploring. Kick the person when they're on the ground and they die. And then in here we got these two nurse things, and they run up and they grab me, which then allows another one to come near me, and I go to swing, and then the other one comes up and grabs me. I'm like, oh. And then so like they just keep doing this, and eventually like I think I have to I run out, I run out of the way. So I'm gonna try and take them out with melee. But because there's both of them, that winds up not being the best. So I'm like, well, I'll break out the gun and just shoot them. I get 2 shots off before they run up and grab me. And I'm like, okay, well, they just ran and I gotta switch to melee. Nope, I get grabbed and slashed. But I'm finally able to get both of them down, actually. And I'm only to kick one of them. So I did that. And then in here, there's just this noise that sounds like glass breaking, possibly going on in another room. I considered possibly heading that way, but decided to go across the hallway instead. There's an enemy now. Now that's kind of sneaky because I didn't even notice the enemy at first because they were just almost completely obscured by the light, and I only noticed it when I started to move. Now see here, I just pick up this videotape. So I decide to head back so we can see what's on this videotape, and once I head back to there and do the videotape, that will be the end of this episode. Takes a couple minutes to get back there as I'm all the way down here. But this videotape in and of itself is actually I don't think it's actually a required item. It's just more of a backstory, and it gives you some dialogue from a well-known character in the series. I don't think you use any piece of it. It's not required to progress. If I wanted, I could have just kept going. But I decided, well, since I got it, I might as well just go and check it out. And also, the VCR is in the same room as is in the same room as the save spot, so it's pretty good. It's a pretty good place to actually just go watch it save in the episode. So I'm in the elevator, head up to the 3rd floor. I have to head all the way around here. So head in here, this is the save point, and here's the video. And I will just let this video play, do its thing. So that was just that little video there. It's just kind of like a little Easter egg sort of thing. And then, the VCR breaks after that. And with that, this episode will be ending shortly. I'm going over to save here. So thank you very much for watching. And the next episode should be up in a couple days. As usual, if you like the video, like it, tell your friends, all that fun stuff. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time.